There we are. Okay, so we are trying this whole new thing with Tidbits and Scribbles. This year, I just kind of wanted to touch base with everybody, kind of like I know it's New Year's. We just got done with Christmas. We haven't celebrated New Year's yet, but I wanted to get the ball rolling with everybody. So I've got not just myself, but my friends are with me. Let's see if I can bring them back on screen. Ta-da! Here we are. All right. So I wanted to talk tonight about our plans for the new year, because we've all got plans. We've all got irons in the fire that we're still working on. So I wanted to kind of, like I said, touch base because it's a new night. It's a new time. With my day job, I had to change things. Yeah, the damn day job got in the way. So I made a pact with the boss. I said, listen, if I'm going to change this, I'm going to change it one time. Tuesday nights are mine. You can't have them anymore. And he said, no, that's absolutely fine. Okay. All right. We're not going to change it. So hopefully it will stay Tuesday nights. Does 7 work for everybody?
Oh, yeah.
7, 8, doesn't matter?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I usually watch a show that starts like 2 hours before, but they're supposed to be over by the time this starts.
Okay, well, good. Okay, good. So, yeah. So we'll just stick with 7 then. Okay. And so tonight's topic, like I said, is plans for next year, because we've all got them. So who wants to start? Who's got the biggest script roll of list of plans?
Oh, you know who.
Yeah. Yeah, we know who.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, no, not me.
Go ahead, Dan.
Okay. I've got to finish the work in progress book. I've got to write another one entirely. Then I've got to go through all this rigmarole of getting in touch with other people for an anthology that the publisher wants me to put together, and get all of them and get the contracts and everything rolling. And then I've got to edit their stuff, which it's pretty good because I've been reading it for a while, but I'm not the world's greatest editor. But I'm what we got. So and then I can relax and write about 5 more books. Then in my spare time, I have my day job.
So you have 8 projects. Okay.
Pretty much.
Wow. I wrote it down. We'll keep you to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the ones I haven't started yet pretty much have a 2-year production time.
Right.
It usually takes me about that long to get started.
Well, with a day job, yeah, it's your time.
Well, when it comes to that, I have exactly 1 year and 1 week left to work.
Yes, there you go.
But that's because I'm going to go in on January 2nd, the year that I actually stop going to work, and take all my vacation time, and then that'll get me to the middle of February, and then come in for 1 day for a retirement dinner, and I don't even have to work the whole day. I just have to have my locker cleaned out by then, and my lab. I'm going to have to rent a truck.
Better start taking some of it home now.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Oh, yeah, right. That'll get Lindsay excited. Can you go ahead and retire this week?
Yeah.
I've got stuff for you to do in the yard.
Can you go back to work this week? Thanks.
Yeah, right. Wait till the big money starts rolling in.
Right. Okay, Brian, what's on your list?
Okay, I'm still making my list. A lot of it is stuff I never got to in 2022.
And he's checking it twice.
That's exactly what I do with my list. If it doesn't get done, It's on the list for next year. It's not like it just magically goes away.
Yeah, as people who get my newsletter at risingtide.pub, hashtag always promote, know, there are some projects that I anticipated would happen, and they didn't come together. So those are off the list because a lot of that is out of my control. But thank you. I appreciate that. You're the best.
I do try.
You do, hon. But anyway, the first and foremost will be my new book, The Terrors, based on the Black Terror comic book from the 1940s, but with a twist. This one is, I'm also going to be setting up probably the most elaborate promotional scheme I have ever done. I am actually going to hire one or more people to help me promote it. And I have something I'm going to do to get like my peers in the new pulp industry to try to help me get the word out about it, as well as present company, because I will be on my hands and knees beseeching you. But we got to wrap that up. We've got to get the cover finalized with Jeffrey Hayes. Production's got to finish up on that, and then once we get a firm release date, then we'll get that rolling. I also have 2 short stories that I'm currently writing for other people. I have the first. One has gotten edited by Cookie, of course, and then I will then do the final edit and send it off to Stormgate Press for a Western anthology. That will be coming out early 22, and I'm really excited about that. It's the very first straight Western I've ever written, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. And then I've got one story that I'm writing currently for Brian Rodman. It's kind of a semi-collaboration where he gives me the story idea, and then I make it totally unrecognizable to what he wanted. And that's got to go through another couple drafts of rewrites. Then edit from Cookie, and then sent to Brian for his approval because I'm working with his characters. Then I also want to get ahead of Volcana 2 because I'm also serializing that on my Patreon page. I want to get that not just from once every 6 weeks to at least once a month, maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks at patreon.com/Brian K. That's me, Dawn. Thank you, Don. At patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And hashtag always promote. And then I also occasionally get friends in the industry who, I need an adventure story. I need this. I need that. And I want to write some short stories that are just going to sit in a file. So that when somebody says, well,
there you go.
Somebody needs an adventure story, I just happen to have one. God,
that's it. Yep.
See, finally getting ahead. And then I have a secret. Well, I'll come to that later. I have a book proposal currently with another new pulp publisher that I'm waiting to hear back on. So I figure if they like it, I'll be writing that in the early part of the year. Then I've got a book that I'll be writing under a pseudonym. It is kind of an erotica thing, and we're going to get that rolling too. I'm going to look into Vela because a very wise person told me that I should, and I always listen to her. And it isn't Cookie this time.
It's people making money, so
exactly. And then I've got I may have another proposal in the later part of the year for another book I want to write for another publisher. But a lot of this is going to be pushing the Terrors. And then I've got a secret project that I will be working on with some people in this room. It's a benefit book that will be happening in the first, probably within the first quarter of the year. I'm thinking once I get a few things in behind me, and it will be preceded by a GoFundMe to help one of the people in our community. I'm still putting together some information for it, but it may launch either the first or second week of January.
Okay.
So, but it will be a rare act of kindness, and that's why I'm bringing somebody in because I respect their guidance, I respect their wisdom. They'll keep me on track, and also I don't want anybody to think that I actually have anything but a heart of stone.
Okay,
good.
I'm
totally uncaring and have no human
that
soul.
image.
I've been working hard on that too. I'm telling you. So
That explains why the erotica is going to be under a pseudonym. You don't want anybody to know that you don't have a heart of stone.
Exactly, yes. And also, I don't want to have that conversation with some of my in-laws. So anyway, that is my voluminous list, and I'm sure I've left things off, unfortunately. So
that's me. I'm making my list.
Oh, yeah.
Checking it twice, like the fat man in the red suit, But there's always going to be something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I forgot to say that I had to do an oil painting this year, and I'm going to actually break down, and I've got something that it needs to see the light of day, and I think it's going to go through Lulu instead of sending it to my publisher.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
It's already almost 10 years old, and that would give me a reason to go back and do a thorough re-edit now that the idea has changed.
Right.
Put stuff on the back burner long enough, it cooks.
Or boils over.
Yeah.
Burns.
Yeah, it's going to be a mess no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Wow, we got a bunch of people joining in. We have Teresa, we have Linda, Nicholas is over there.
We have
Hey, Nick.
Keisha.
Hi, Nick.
Yep, Keisha, she finally popped in.
Keisha.
And then Joe Bachman is in the chat.
Keisha.
Yeah, we got all the fun people.
All right. Yes, we do. And I'm expecting more because I sent out some feelers to some people.
Good,
so.
good.
There are laws against that.
Only if they complain, Dan. Only if they complain.
So Facebook users, you need to either identify yourself or allow StreamYard to go in and give StreamYard permission to display your name.
Oh, that is Keisha right there.
That is definitely
Keisha.
No,
Keisha
said.
Oh, it could be Keisha.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the beautiful
She's already
people.
said hello, beautiful.
Yeah,
her
wonderful.
name.
Oh, wonderful people. Maybe Morgan Comnick. I invited her.
Maybe.
Yeah, and she and I may be collaborating on something later this year, this coming year too. So
good deal. But like Donna said, go in and give StreamYard permission.
Yeah, go to the StreamYard page in Facebook and just give it a like, then come back here, and then we'll know who you are.
Yep. Ta-da!
You've got a question. Dawn's asking, is it better to be on Facebook or YouTube for chatting?
Probably YouTube. Farcebook sometimes is Farcebook.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to drop out.
And StreamYard doesn't play well with Facebook.
No.
Right.
No.
So
but
Nick,
it does tend to play well with YouTube.
So
I have this on 2 different places on Facebook. I have it in my readers group, and I have it in my book page, or on my book page. It's like Michaela Jane's books. I'm trying to promote that one now because on Farcebook I have over 4,000 friends, and I'm approaching 5,000. So when you hit 5,000, Farcebook won't let you have any other friends because apparently you can't be that friendly.
No.
So I'm trying to promote people over to my book pages and get them over there. That way I can remember to update them because those are something I haven't used yet to their advantage. So
okay.
There's a lot to keep at and to remember.
Yeah. Also, YouTube has better picture and sound quality.
Mm-hmm.
And you usually get the signal sooner than you do on Facebook, so you can mock your Facebook friends at being losers.
And say that you got the info 3 seconds before they did.
That's right.
Yes.
It could be milliseconds, but you're that much ahead of them.
Oh, we have Linda too. Linda popped in.
Hi, Linda.
Yes, Linda's
Yay!
here.
She has got so much better internet now. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Good.
Yes.
Oh, and
so Carl, do you have a list?
Well, of things we're going to do in 2023,
Or things to learn.
And I'll drag Donna in on this one too eventually. I'm going to. Well, first of all, I'll warn Dan that when you retire, you think, "Oh, hey, I'll have all this time to write." You don't, no. Everything else happens. You got to go run and do all this other stuff. And I'm I'm struggling now to get motivation to write because it's
I can see that.
You got all day, so you think I'll do it this afternoon, and then this afternoon comes and so I'm going to start to try to set a time when I will write, and it'll be a time like after certain shows in the morning, like maybe Furthermore or something, and go have lunch and then write for a while rather than jump into another show or do something else. Because I really need to finish the spy novel and get that going. Get it out before the end of 2023.
Yes.
Another thing is from what we learned this year and before is that we will probably not be going to a lot of these book shows and comic shows that are by themselves, that are just like out someplace by itself. If it doesn't have some other activity going on, or if it's not in a mall, we can't hardly make the table feedback, so
right.
I'm gonna really be cutting back on those kind of things. I mean, we did great at SilCon, but there were a lot of people running around. It was in a mall, and it was fantastic. But some of the others, it was like dragging people. Yeah.
You
know how that is. It's not good. So we're going to be cutting back on some of those and not throwing money away to just go to places just to go places.
Yeah.
Is that right, Donna?
Sure.
She gives me this look like, I'm going places, dude.
Yeah.
No, like, I don't know about you, but
I'm going. The action is.
Yeah.
Some of the time it's like a little mini vacation.
That's
nice. We get out of town and we go someplace. And those kind of things we'll probably still do, but we won't be spending $70 or $80 to get a table someplace when
right. Well, and
then only sell 2 books.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at with my year because I've had to go back and get a day job for right now, and that's the thing. It's for right now. So because of that, I have to pick and choose where I can go and where it makes the most sense to go. I'm lucky in the fact that a half hour for me is Peoria, Illinois. So I can go there for a lot of different events and sell my books at a lot of different events. But I've got to temper it. I've got to say, okay, well, that event cost me X amount to go to, and I know that I'm only going to make a minimal amount. But that event there doesn't cost me much to go to, and there's a lot more traffic. There's a lot more exposure. I'm going there. But there are events like the one I go to every June out in Deadwood. It's not so much about selling books. It's about networking with other authors. It's about learning stuff while I'm there. It's about the vacation part of it. And it is. It's a time for us to cut loose and hang with other people that do what we do. So it's not, for me, that one for me is not so much about the book signing. There is a book signing. You can sell books. That's not what that one's about. But you have to know that going in.
Yeah. Well, and I'm also looking at cutting out a number of my shows because I don't live near a place that has a lot of book shows. You'd think I live an hour from Indianapolis and I'd be awash in them. And the honest to God fact is there is maybe 1 or 2 large events that are book centric. And even then they are mostly romance or literary, whereas I am neither. And so I have to travel, but by the same token, I'm like Carl that I get to see friends. I have friends in every port, literally, but I have to this year especially weigh which ones will be worth my while and how far do I want to travel. Now, granted, I have Calgon, which helps a lot, but
yeah, all those costs have to be, they have to come from somewhere. So
they do.
You got to make, what makes it worth it to you is the thing. It's kind of like what does success mean to you, you know?
Exactly. And part of it is also going to be trying to, which I hope to do through the terrors, is increase my online sales. Now, right now, my online sales and my my in-person sales are almost reaching equal, and in a good way. It's not like one is plummeting down to meet the other. But
mine have always been equal, but they're in single digits.
Oh, well, I've had some months where I'm hoping for a sale at Burger King on sandwiches, so I can treat Cookie too. And then I've had a few where I'm doing okay, and I did realize something in 2022 that it's been about 3.5 years since I had a month where I didn't get at least something from Amazon. So I'm very proud of that. Relieved
that
too.
Is something to be proud of. That takes work.
It does. It really does. And I'm hoping, I'm always hoping this is the upcoming year where it pays off, especially. But yeah, one thing I want to real quick before Aunt Donna talks, I want to touch on something that Carl said about making a time to write. I have found that some of us have a period of the day. This is something everybody in the audience can take too. That there are times of the day where your energy is high in certain areas. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, yes, I can write all day, and I do. And fortunately, I've got enough control over my craft that I can make it reasonably productive. But I have this period between like about 7 o'clock at night and midnight where everything, all the synapses fire in the right order. Mm-hmm. And I can't type fast enough. Mm-hmm. And I think everybody has to find their time when they are the most productive, where you get more done in 1 hour than you would do in 4 hours any other time. So it's my advice. Anybody wants to
golden hours. Yeah.
I don't want anybody to misunderstand, but for me that is after Lindsay goes to bed at night.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Frequently with me too, with Cookie.
Because the house is quiet.
And it's like, okay, everything is calm. I don't have to think about anything. Everything is done for the day. The day is done. Mm-hmm. Now let me focus.
Yeah.
It's the same. If you're fresh when you get first thing in the morning, that's fine. It's going to be different for every person.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But I would bring that forward.
Yeah, oddly for me, sometimes it's 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I can't help you, Carl.
I know. There's no hope.
For me, first thing in the morning, that's the best time for editing.
Yeah.
Best time for writing is between 10 and 3 at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what we're discussing, Nick. That, what's our goals for next year? What are we doing this year? How many irons do we have still in the fire?
I'm interested in what Donna has to say because I don't know what her goals are this next year.
Well, you probably surprised her too with your declaration about the show. So this is gonna be a great show. I'm gonna get the popcorn.
I don't know, but Aunt Donna's plans look like they might include a shovel and some quicklime if Carl.
No, I know somebody who owns a pig farm.
You bring the pig farm, I'll bring the wood chipper.
We had already talked about not going to some shows again.
Yeah, there were some that just didn't pay off.
Oh, yeah. Or we would go as patrons.
One plan is to try to not to be too impatient until January 2nd, because we were told on Vela we had to wait until January 2nd for the next episode of Pieces. Yeah.
Sorry.
The fans have spoken.
God, okay, so a lot of my readers don't watch or I hope they don't watch this show, because here we go. That just gave me half a week to come up with the rest of the dang story. Because I was like, you know what? Everybody else takes a little break on the holidays. I'm going to take a little break on the holidays.
Oh.
It happens.
Yeah, that's cool.
Honest to God, I have the next episode ready. It will be there January 2nd. But right now...
Notice she didn't say which year.
You're not helping, Dan.
Helping is not my job.
You know I had that Yankee chain.
Yes. Oh,
yeah, I'll take a day off when Stephen King does.
You're not the only one.
My goals. And another Hunter's Ridge book will come out in May, to be followed by a Beth and Hill book in November.
That's my PA.
I'm not too goal oriented right now. I'm fighting through having lost one of the dearest people in my life recently. Right. And every time I sit down to write, it's just not coming, because my thoughts turn to there's no obituary because they can't afford it. There's no funeral because they can't afford it.
That's things that you wouldn't even think of an obituary. How do you not afford an obituary? Well,
yeah,
they do cost money. You don't think
they cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And with her husband currently being in the care facility, he's not able to do it. So maybe one of our goals this next year will be to write something up about her and put it maybe on Facebook.
There you go.
I'll help you. I'll help you.
We will be having a memorial in the first weekend in May, which would have been her 66th birthday.
Yeah.
But yeah. Writing's about the furthest thing from my mind right now.
Understood.
Yeah. And I don't want to say ironically, but
a
lot of writers are in that space, in that headspace right now, that are on my Facebook feed, that are my personal friends. It seems like a lot of us are in that space of right now just sucks. Now, it won't suck forever, but right now just sucks.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you're a new person listening here. It's okay. Take that moment, take that time that you need, let it suck. Life just has those moments. But if you can, take from that, learn from that, use that in your writing, use that emotion, or think back on it later.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of writing a novel when my second wife passed away, and to take my mind off of everything, I threw myself into finishing the book.
Right, and it can go either way for writers.
It was kind of like therapy. It was kind of like therapy.
Others are like, I can't pull the words out if it saved my life.
Yeah.
So it's whatever you need to get past it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I was using it as a crutch. I will admit. I mean, to try and keep from facing it. But
and there will probably be a very bloody scene that will be based on my feelings for the woman whom I considered murdered Julie by
there you go
driving too fast,
and
especially on a dark road, fleeing from police.
It brings up a lot of things, a lot of conflicts that could be handled and should probably be handled in writing. I mean, should there ever be high-speed chases, especially if you know already who you're chasing?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I know
catch them later.
I know in larger cities they're not allowed so much anymore, mostly because they have the eyes in the sky.
Right.
Yep.
This was along the
once
state
they've identified the person, you know where that person's going to be. Like, go get them later.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Just roadblocks down the street. I mean, radio was invented for a reason. So,
send a couple of cars to their house. They're going to have to come home sooner or later.
No, because
put out a warrant for them, then everybody in the country knows.
Oh, that's right. She set the house on fire.
Yeah. I don't think she had any plans on going back to that.
No.
Right.
And thanks everyone in the chat. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we do appreciate it. This is something that could be handled in a book of fiction that might bring up some things that will make other people think about this.
Yeah,
and
definitely
bring it up to the greater public what has happened.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Plus, if you really having trouble dealing with something, writing the deaths of 100 bad guys really feels good.
It does. And new and
It
inventive
really
ways to
does.
kill
It's
them
very
in the book.
cathartic.
Yes. Yes. So my plans, goals, and all that is always, I've always got 5 or 6 irons in the fire as far as book titles being written.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, I need to get myself in a better spot so that I don't have to worry about the day job, or the day job is not a problem as far as interfering with the writing. And I can write anytime. Is the best time in the middle of the night? Yeah, absolutely, because everything's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been a few times where I get off work and I get off late at night and I say, I'm going to go home, everything's going to be quiet, and I'm going to write. That's not the case. So I don't write. I either, go to bed because I'm tired, or I watch endless YouTube videos that I shouldn't watch about writing when I should be writing, and I'm like, but I'm learning something. So yeah, there's all kinds of irons in the fire. I set a deadline for myself, though. I will have pieces complete by the end of January. Because Vela is doing so well for me, at the end of February, I'm going to start another Vela. So there's like a month between each one. And I'm just going to see if I can make that a profitable spot where I can say to the day job, take a hike. Because it looks like it's that profitable. It looks like it may be. So, but I have to prove it first. So.
And there is this about a paycheck. It gets addictive. And if you start making money by writing, you're going to want to write more.
Well, and that's the thing. And so it's tough for me because, like we talked about earlier, when you retire, you think, oh, I have all this time that I can write. Okay. Well, I did that kind of with the day job, and I have to suck it up and admit it. I didn't spend my time wisely. And you remember when all your teachers always told you, spend your time wisely? You need to spend your time wisely. Come on now, you're not spending your time wisely. I didn't.
Yeah.
And when I could have been writing and I could have put out 5 or 6 books this year, I didn't. I made excuses. Now, were they good excuses? Some of them. Some of them, not so much. Some of them, I was just messing around. So this year's plan is to kick myself a little harder and quit making those damn excuses, because there's no reason I couldn't have had 5 books put out this year.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Well, yeah, and sometimes it's a matter of prioritization. It's no secret that, like a couple of years ago, I was probably on every waking moment you got on YouTube, I had a show.
Yes.
Which for a time served a purpose, but then last year and a half, I started realizing how much that was cutting into the creative stuff that I do, like here, and or teaching opportunities like this show.
Yeah.
And so that's why I cut back on my broadcasting. And I'm going to be retooling what I want to do here and possibly on TikTok as well. Because I still, as I have from day one, I feel the need to share what I know. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's for everybody. Well, yes, I am, but we'll get into that later. But no, it's like that's one of the purposes. One of the things I love about this show, and one of the things I love about watching people like Jenna Morisi or Self-Publishing with Dale, or book launchers. That they are actively out there giving solid advice to people, and there's so many people out there that don't know jack crap about what they're talking about, and it's so painfully obvious to anyone that has been in the trenches for considerable time, like present company. And you just want to go out there and make sure. Yeah, because we
we need it. We need that. Get off your phone and get to work.
Yeah, and and it's okay not to be Stephen King. It's okay not to be J.K. Rowling or James Patterson. you can be Dan Holofield or Carl Wisman or Andon or Michaela Jade or me. Because if you don't have a book out, we're already light years ahead of you. But we can teach you how to get your book out too, and we can teach you how to make your book the best book that can possibly be out.
And we're not
I'm going to need clarification there. I don't see how you put me in the same class as Brian here.
Well, it's true. Y'all are, hey, I'm trying to pull you up as best I can. But no, seriously.
Speak for yourself, Rich. I'm perfect.
Yeah, no, and Nick Tockert has a thing about BKM and Dan, especially need to also things like master classes. I mean, I love the master classes, and the BBC has just launched their own version of it too. Alan Moore on storytelling. For those of you who don't know who Alan Moore is, he created Watchmen, he created From Hell, he created a whole bunch of comic books that have been turned into really terrific movies. So.
Not
He's better than James Patterson. That's true. Yeah. There was a book out by James Patterson and Bill Clinton about 5 years ago, and I figured no one wrote it.
Probably.
I figured Michaela wrote it.
No, the editor.
Michaela's got better taste.
The editor wrote it.
Yeah, probably.
I do have plans for Uncle Carl this year.
This could be good.
I do have plans for Uncle Carl to do this year. At Peoria Book Show, I had somebody ask me if my books were on Kindle. I do have, there are available ebook, but that's not Kindle friendly. So somebody needs to learn how to.
Lulu does kind of transfer stuff over to Kindle. I mean, I've got.
Oh, there you go.
The first Apelian collection of short stories, of which I have one out of the entire 65,000 words, 68,000 words, excuse me. And each story is 1,000 words. Somehow or another, the guy that did the editing got it ported over from Lulu to Amazon for Kindle books.
Yeah,
and apparently,
file and take out the page numbers.
No,
it was pretty easy. It's really easy. I can format my own Kindle stuff.
Oh, okay, okay.
Go to Draft to Digital, take the document, go to Draft to Digital, click ebook. It will give you an EPUB or a Mobi file, and both of those can be uploaded.
Yeah, just about anywhere. Yeah, and that's another thing. You mentioned Draft to Digital. I am going to, with my new works, I'm going as wide as I can get.
Yeah.
Everywhere. I mean, it makes no sense at all just to be on Amazon or some aggregator. Like we can all say, yeah, I'm on Walmart.com.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That was something that in the romance book world, you'll see authors jump. And by jump, I mean, like, sometimes they'll have all their books on Kindle Unlimited, but they'll run them for like a month or 3 months, and then they pull them and they go wide, meaning you can get them anywhere you want. Yep. But while they're in that Kindle program, Unlimited.
While they're on Unlimited, you can only get them there,
Right.
No, Nick, don't direct that towards me. Carl is going to be doing that. I don't think a lot of these people realize just how frickin' lazy I am.
Well,
we do now, Donna. We do now.
Pretty much, yeah.
EPUB is the only one that Donna will accept now. Yeah, they used to accept a couple others, but now it's EPUB.
And I can't remember what Lulu puts out. It may be EPUB. I'll have to look at that. Because some of your books are available for download. From Lulu, I'm wondering if maybe those are EPUB books.
Yeah,
that could be.
In an earlier comment, Nick was pointing out how many years have I been publishing Apelian.
Choose Nick.
26th year starts February.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay.
There we go.
Awesome.
Very cool.
And we got like upwards of 500 writers that have become pros over the years. And I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of that. That's been
You
my
should be.
reward
That's
for
a lot of freaking years.
Serious. Yeah, that's fantastic. I've never held a job that long.
Me neither.
I'll have
I'm not
46
even
years
that
in at the factory when I retire. I mean, people
I
just
would-
look at
Here's
me and go,
another.
"What?"
Well, here's another pro tip, everybody. If you do go wide and you go to other platforms like Draft to Digital and Ingram Spark that also share it with Amazon, do not take their link to Amazon.
Yeah,
It
no,
will
you gotta do it
confuse the
separately.
algorithms on Amazon. So if you go through those and upload to Amazon, that's fine, but then don't upload it yourself to Amazon. Either load to Amazon and then don't check the boxes that you do it from other services, because it messes up your algorithms.
Yeah.
And you don't get accurate sales figures.
Yeah.
That's a pro tip. Thank you. You're welcome.
Page, just upload the EPUB or PDF.
That's
yeah.
important. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably have more advice after the first quarter of the year.
No kidding.
Yeah.
They make it super simple. So that's even being brand new. I remember Linda told me one time, go to Draft to Digital.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, but it's just a manuscript. It's not formatted yet or anything. She said, take it to Drafts to Digital. And by the tone of her text, I was like, oh, I should just do what she said. So I did. And I thought, I know nothing about this. And I did. I knew nothing. I knew nothing about it. I went over to Drafts to Digital, and literally it walks you through it. It says, upload your manuscript here. You want to format it? Yes. Click. Done. Format. Okay. How do you want it to look? Click. Yes. No? Okay. No. Click. Yes. Like, it's just that stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
And
yes,
now
it
I'm
takes
being pimped
time.
by Nicholas and Rich at the same time.
There you go.
See, you do have a following.
They're kicking you.
Yeah.
But that's part of it too. Is when I jumped into this, I knew nothing and knew no one. So literally, start talking to people, start building your circle, and you're gonna find some in your circle. They're just your cheerleaders. That's it. That's all they do, which is fine. You need cheerleaders. Then you're gonna learn from some other people. Then you're gonna learn from some other people, and some people are gonna fall off by the wayside, and some are gonna stick with you. The ones that stick with you are your tribe.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Just keep talking. That's what I do.
It's
that's one reason why. That's one reason why I like some of the conventions I go to, especially the one I'm not going to be able to go to this year because I can't sit in a car seat and drive for 3 hours. Hopefully that will be over with by October.
Yeah.
But in June it's not gonna make it. But you get to meet so many other writers. And some of them have been in the business way longer than you have. Some of them are just getting started, but they're been fantastically successful. And you get to talk to them, you get to listen to them. And it's just like right here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not some kind of sit at the master's knee sort of thing. It's hey, dude, I did this and it worked. Maybe you should give that a try, but make it work in your direction.
Yeah. Excellent. Good advice, Dan.
Well, they do it all the time.
That's how I felt when I went to Windy City Pulp and Paper this last year, and also there was a Jeff Harper's pulp fiction convention. Rubbing elbows with people I respect. Hi, Jessica. Love you, hon. I'm rubbing elbows with people I've been reading for years and respect the hell out of, and just tossing ideas back and forth about not just the art of the craft, but promotion. Things that work, things that don't work, shows that are good, shows that aren't good. Just the networking thing, like Michaela said, was great.
Yes, Joe, we love you for all of those things.
You let us be the judge of that cheerleading thing, though, okay? We're not here to kink shame. We are here to judge.
Point four.
If it hadn't been for meeting other people, especially like in this group and the wider audience that we kind of met through Brian and then through Dan, and we kind of many. So I wouldn't have even tried doing any other person's book cover, and except Donna's and myself. I was learning and working on those, and then someone else needed a book cover, and I'm like, okay, let me give it a shot and try and see. Um, and
I'm okay with saying no, I don't like that.
Yeah, through being told no, I don't like that. Then we finally got it down, and so when Keisha needed one, it was like, hey, here you go. And then other people have started to ask, so we're really that's
it just snowballs. Yeah,
I'll be doing a lot more of that kind of thing in 2023, editing and doing book covers, because I think, as far as I know, the spy novel and then the book about D.B. Cooper's what happened to D.B. Cooper, I have theories, will be the last one I will actually write.
And then you'll move on to the extra stuff.
Right.
Yep.
And you say that now. Yeah.
I know. But I want to get into these book covers and get the editing.
Hey, I like it. I agree. You should do that. Yeah. But I popped Jessica's comment up here because we were talking earlier about cons that we do and shows that we do and why we do them. Jessica's show is one that I will always do no matter what. And ironically, it falls on my wedding anniversary weekend. So,
so you're spending it properly.
Sometimes I will be alone for my anniversary, but it's okay because we're, way past that whole honeymoon phase. So, but her show is one that it benefits the right people. It's put on well. It's put on by the right people. Like, it's just a good show. And I don't care if I sell. Yes, I do. I would like to sell thousands of books at it. But if I don't, that's one of those that I'm okay with too. Because most of my friends author-wise are there anyway. So I can treat that kind of like a vacation. I can say, you know what? If I make no money at this one, fine. It's for a good cause. I donated. I did my part.
Yeah.
But again, like there's ones that I don't do that with everyone. There are some shows where I've gone and I've twiddled my thumbs the whole time, and I'm like, the promoter promotes this really well, but I don't know anybody here. No one interacted with me when I tried to interact with them. Yeah. There's just a different feel about it. Like, it's not worth my time at all. But so we do pick and choose where we go. And I think this year, more so than any other year, a lot of us are doing that.
Oh, and Nick says he wants 1 minute to 30-second commercials from all of us.
See, the thing is, Nick, and this is one of my it's on my list of things to do. I don't know what to say about my books that hasn't already been said, and I feel like has been oversaid. So now, as an author, a writer, an editor, I've got to come up with ad copy. Are you kidding me? I hate ad copy. But it's something, as a independently published author, we have to figure it out. Either we hire it out or we figure out how to do it ourselves. So
I was going to say, maybe Dawn could figure it out for you.
Well, I'm hoping. She and I were throwing ideas back and forth today, and we do that almost every day. So,
and every time I do an advert, I've worked really hard to get it under 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, take a 100,000-word book and put it into a blurb. Good luck.
I think I've got an ad for one book. I've got the video portion of it finished. I'm going to narrate it. It's 42 seconds, and I'm just going to give it to Nick and see how it works. Yeah. And if that works out, he can tack it on the end of somebody else's ad, make it a full minute or whatever.
Hey, but on the Super Bowl, 30 seconds cost you millions of dollars. So.
That's true.
I'm not charging Nick $1 million for a 2-minute commercial. I'm sorry I do have standards. I'm not going to do that to my friends.
Right, but that's the thing. Like, so, and it's not so much for my readers. My readers love it, but like, I think I've heard that commercial 1,000, 100,000 times. I'm tired of it. What's new? What new thing can I say about the same old books that aren't old, that aren't, Hey.
Yeah, but have they been shown on Nevermind and Furthermore?
There you go.
I don't know.
There you
Not
go.
since Nick took it over.
Okay, there you go. You can use the same old show for new people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Nick, I'd be glad to help somebody write an elevator pitch. So
and maybe not even a particular book, Michaela, but like you as an author, something like Cindy Kep has done, where she has her books.
Oh yeah, and she puts up like 6 or 8 book titles in the advert.
But maybe the voiceover that just talks about, Michaela Jade has written these books,
or even just a brief quote from a passage of your book, and have like several of them from the same book, and then buy this now on Amazon, and here's all the other platforms.
Yeah, and that's the thing is it's that whole self-editing thing. I've written things down and been like, no, that's garbage, 1,000 times. So I'll figure something out. It's just a matter of Dawn needs to kick me in the ass and Nick needs to kick me.
Well, that's one thing I've had to do at Apelian is during the times between short story editors, when I'm the default short story editor, I have to come up with a 1 to 3 sentence blurb for each story.
Mm-hmm.
That is the hardest writing I have ever done. I mean, I've sat there, I've read the thing, I've proofread the thing, I love the story. Here we go. What can I say about this?
Yeah.
And a deer in the headlights moment there.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. A lot of my publishers ask me for a 1 or 2 line teaser, and I've started now supplying them, whether they ask for it or not.
Yeah.
So
that's good, Linda.
Yeah, Nick, but the 2-minute commercial is a good bathroom break. Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, your viewers think the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, here's that guy again. Time to head to the John.
Right, but then again, if you flip that on its head and you say, yeah, but you remembered that commercial. It might have been stupid. It might have been annoying. It might be played 100,000 times and you're so sick of hearing it, but you remember it. And you can almost do the jingle yourself.
And how many people watch the Super Bowl just for the commercials?
If I'm lucky, they crank the volume up so they can listen to the music while they're in the bathroom.
Hey, Dan, that darn woman that is sitting on the commode in the unicorn outfit. Okay?
Yes, I know exactly which one that is.
On another show we watch, there's a woman that is advertising her bathroom reader from her bathroom. And I'm like, oh my God, not that again.
But she promises to wash her hands before she autographs the copy that she sends you.
Yeah.
Well, we all remember the Poopery commercials, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It works.
It does, and that's the thing. It's a good point about even the annoying ones. There's a local car dealer who should be forcibly wrestled away from the microphone. Yeah. You can tell it's one of those where hey, let me bring my kids out, sort of thing. Keep your god awful kids and hire a script writer. But you remember his commercials is the problem. Mm-hmm. Of course, I'm remembering it now because I'll never buy from the guy because he's grinding.
We have one in Peoria the same way, and it's one of those I'll never buy from that car dealer ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Just because of that commercial.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Yeah, Linda. Yeah, that's one of them, Linda. We've got one here.
Which one?
Rohrman.
Or we have
Rohrman.
Yeah.
We have a furniture dealer that will give you a free onion with every purchase.
Oh God, yes,
yes. Oh God, you still have that?
Downer.
I remember that Downer. Oh, I hated that old man.
Oh no, Downer's gone.
Yeah.
I don't think they're doing the free onion anymore.
Yeah, I bought something off of him before we left Illinois, and he never gave us an onion. I was pretty pissed about that.
But he still has a store, one in Champaign and one here in Danville.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well, and they do come in handy. Sometimes you can use it as a throwaway line in a story because there was one story I was doing where I had to, the guy got paid off in gemstones, and I go, "That's okay. I got a friend in the diamond business." Well, sort of a friend, and it
Nick,
was
that
it
would
was a
require
commercial that I
video.
had heard on 96 Rock every day of my life for about 10
Yes.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
yet.
Nick.
Not yet, Amanda. Working on it.
Linda does book talk or TikTok, but and I was really proud of her. She was like doing a new one every day, and I was like, yeah, okay, you do that, go ahead. And she was seeing some bump in sales, but I have not done it because, of course, it requires videos and time management, and just how many other excuses do you want, Nick? So
Well,
no, I'm
Wait,
not
a
on book
million of
talk.
them.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, we'll put that on our list for 2023.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, book talk's on my to-do list this year too, and I'm thinking the one thing I got from a recent writing group was a journal, and I'm going to be writing down everything I do every day. And it dawned on me, why don't I make a video of it?
Yeah.
And be accountable every bleeping day, except when I'm sick. Then we'll have a
right.
When I'm feeling up to it, then we'll have a video about why I'm not broadcasting. So.
Yeah, Nick, that's kind of what I do.
She's in good company.
It's not coffee, okay? I'm just saying.
That's right.
I want a little cheese with that wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Here we go. So Linda has a tip. Wait a minute. Come on.
Sorry.
Tip for book talk.
Sorry, Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I should do that.
That's what I was doing when I was doing my BK minutes last year. I would do
I
like a week's. I was doing them initially one per day. Then I thought, no, I can't do this. I need to block out a time, and so every Monday I would do like a week's worth of BK minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And
all you
even
had to do
that
was
was
change your shirt in between.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was changing my shirt and making it look like it was fresh every day. And I think I fooled a lot of people. But even that 1 hour was starting to wind me down, and they weren't coming out exactly as I really wanted them. So
this may be a problem if I do something like that, because I've got like 6 black shirts just the same.
Well, now,
a couple of these jackets.
I was
it
thinking
looks like I'm wearing the same
because,
clothes constantly, but I'm not, folks. I'm not.
Yeah.
Because I'm always thinking about stuff like that when I'm doing my shows. I'm like, well, I don't want to wear the same shirt every show, but I don't want to wear the same shirt every other show. But I have some favorite shirts that I wear, and I'm like, but I don't want to wear just like a t-shirt or a sweatshirt. I mean, that's kind of frumpy, And so then I'm watching a few other YouTubers, and that's another thing, guys. You're not going to learn from just booktubers. Like, watch all kinds of things. But I was watching another YouTuber, and she wears just a hoodie or a sweatshirt, but she's done her makeup, she's done her hair. She doesn't look frumpy. And so I don't wonder if it's just the style, or maybe it's that it's a new shirt or something. I don't know, but I had noticed that, yeah, she's wearing hoodies, she's wearing sweatshirts that don't say anything. They're just a plain crew neck sweatshirt. And I thought, well, okay.
Well,
and yeah, Linda, the scarf thing, I've got a bunch of scarves that I can switch out, but it's a thing for females. It's like, I don't have a huge wardrobe. I'm not going to go buy a huge wardrobe for this. But I also don't want people thinking I'm wearing the same shirt every day.
I have a huge wardrobe. It doesn't do me any damn good whatsoever. I wind up wearing the same 5 or 6 shirts.
I tell you what, I'll send you my wardrobe.
Same thing, Dan.
You send me your wardrobe, and we'll just switch.
I've got 3 closets full of clothes. Lindsay has 1 closet. I've got 50 pairs of shoes. She's got 10, maybe.
Wow.
And she looks at me and goes, "What kind of stereotype are you fitting?"
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah,
because
that's
I'm absolutely fabulous, darling.
Well, yeah, Nick,
so,
you do.
So with Nick doing this, it's multitasking basically is what it is. I'm already doing this. Let me take a piece from this and use it over here. Sure. I do that with my pictures. So if I take a picture of one of my gardening things, especially one of my lilies, you'll see that on Michaela Jade stuff because it's beautiful, and why not put some words on it and make it a meme, and there we go, and kill two birds with one stone.
One of my album covers was from photographs that I took on vacation. Just so happened I was on vacation in England at the time and visiting Guildford Castle. And we walked around in there. I took a photograph like every 3 feet that I walked, and it. Hey, I got a whole bunch of things. And there was the 2 or 3 that wound up being pieced together for the back cover art for one of the albums. One of the album covers was a photograph taken the day that Lindsay and I renewed our wedding vows. And we just had a bunch of friends around, and one of the guys rode up on this motorcycle, awesomely cool motorcycle. We had it all shined up, and myself and 2 other guys that were there were looking down at how shiny the chrome on the back of the headlight was. And I go, "Oop," pulled out the camera, and it was actually a movie camera, zoomed it in real close, took a picture of the reflection in that. Turned out to be the album cover, was a reflection of us geeky looking guys looking at the shiny chrome.
Yeah.
And somebody said, "Oh, I want that album. I really do. That looks like one of that band has got to drop some serious music." And then the little did I know it was just me, and there ain't nothing serious about me.
But that's the thing too. You've got all these irons in the fire. A lot of it, people might look at and say, "Well, you'll never accomplish that." Oh no, I will. It's just a matter of how. Right. And I think that's where we get lost in the details.
Well, and another thing, if you got 50 irons in the fire, if you get 10 of them accomplished, that's still better than a lot of people get done.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, some people never make it to the fire.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Grant, what's up?
Hey, Grant.
Hey, Grant.
I learned something new today, kind of touching on what Michaela said about watching things outside of what you're usually watching and all. And I got on this particular channel, and I'm watching, and he has a show about Shakespeare. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna watch what this is about. And all the time that all classes I went to where they discussed Shakespeare, of all the high level shows I've seen, I had never known that most of Shakespeare's work was not organized by him. It wasn't until, because he died so early, okay? And it wasn't until after he died that some of the actors that worked with him decided, we need to get these plays together. And they had to pull all the scripts they had, all the notes he had.
Wow.
And people who had played the characters helped each other. Oh, no, that's not the way the speech went. I remember, because I had to memorize it, 10 times. Here's how this speech went. And those friends got together and actually did the first folio. So that's why they talk about the first folio of Shakespeare and why it's so important. And I guess there were a lot of bootleg folios. People would go to a performance and write down as much as they could and then sell it to other people for 6 pence on the street or something. Oh, wow. And there was a lot of that going on. So, yeah.
So that was the Elizabethan equivalent of going to a rock concert with a boombox and recording it.
Uh-huh.
Or more like Napster, or what it was.
Yeah.
That downloading thing from the 90s.
Napster.
Napster. Thank you.
So there was a lot of bootleg Shakespeare out there, but his friends actually organized it and put it together. So it's very important if you're writing something to think about, I need to organize this. I need to keep it together. I need to keep my notes a little better, and that's one thing I'm going to do in 2023 because my notes are all over the place here.
Yes.
Got to get it together.
It's too bad I'm not putting a band together. Bootleg Shakespeare would be a great name for a band.
I like that. Yeah. I'd buy that. I'd buy that album.
Write that down, Donna. That's a hashtag.
Yeah.
No. Wrong room.
But yes. My list is very long of stuff I want to get done, and I'm already like second guessing myself, and I have to stop myself because if I look back, I know, because if I look back at what I did, my first book was actually published May 13th of 2020. Yeah.
And you've had how many books out?
There's loads of bitches up there on that shelf that all have my name on them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's 2 more that are co-written. That's 6 books. Are you kidding me?
Well, and don't forget the ones, the 2 that you got on Vellum.
And then in Vella. Right, so there's 2 more. Like,
you're kicking it.
What? Holy
Plus
crap.
what you've edited for other people.
Yeah, oh, my God.
Oh.
See?
The editing and the ghostwriting alone is just mind-boggling.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, when you stop and you look back on what you actually did, and granted, it wasn't 1 year, but in 2 years, that's a lot. Now, yes, there are authors that I know that will put out 8 books a year or more.
Must be nice.
When they compare, it may not be apples to apples.
Right.
Some of these women that are saying they put out 8 books, well, maybe it's a 10,000 word story in a anthology.
Or it's the same book 8 times with different names.
Just change the names, change the era, change the costumes.
Right.
And file off the serial numbers and give it a good spray paint job.
Yeah.
And that's a very important
Barbara Cartwright.
That's the thing other people are, Keisha.
Yeah, it's what other people do.
Yeah, not me. Not me, by God. I just get my notes and write them up and get them out of the house.
I'm thinking this might be Hunter. How important are lists and how important are prioritizing those lists? Okay.
I think it's very important.
For me, I love lists. That is how I make it through my day. And if I don't have a list that I'm working on, I feel like my day went to shit. Because I feel like, again, you have to sit back and look at that tally of stuff you got done. Like, how many books did you get done in 2 years? If I don't have a list, I don't feel like I got anything done. And that's even for something as simple as do the dishes, do the laundry, pick up my bedroom, pick up the living room. If I don't have it on a list and it's checked off, I go, well, I didn't do anything today.
Yep.
Well, not true.
Yeah.
Bye, Linda.
Bye, Linda.
Bye, Linda. Talking about lists, I'm having that kind of issue now with the current book because the other books, fiction, I mean, totally made up, based on real events, but not that closely. On this one, I have to keep to a timeline.
Yes.
And see, I mean, everybody who follows this particular murder of this spy, I'm going to call him a spy, okay?
Yeah.
Everybody who knows this in real life knows, oh, no, that didn't happen until then. Because the timeline is, he got on the train at this particular time.
That is the difficulty of writing a historical.
And I'm finding that I will write something. I'll think, hey, this is a great idea. I'm going to write this down. Okay, now where does this happen in the timeline?
Right.
And I'm switching things around a little bit because I'm trying to push out, okay, this is what happened. This is what happened. Whoop, that can't happen yet. Hang on.
Yeah.
That is what I have to do when I have a random idea for something that is part of the story, but I don't know exactly where it fits. And I have to have a timeline going on. Well, this goes here, and this goes here, and this goes here. And the asteroid impact story, that one, I started it off with a countdown, with a timeline.
Yeah.
Every chapter has a date. Well, it's just month and year, but no, it doesn't even have the year. It just has the month and the day, because the series creator did not want to tie it down to a specific year.
Okay.
So I have to have all this stuff happening in the right order, and it just got intense there towards the end. But he did edit out. The thing was this was really artistic. There were 3 major characters. I gave each one of them an intertwining story arc. So I had 3 beginnings, 3 middles, and originally I had 3 endings. One of the endings turned out to be superfluous in the eyes of the series creators. And I go, but that character really needed that. Okay, I see. It's your work. I mean, I just write the shit.
Keisha, you're not failing.
No, not at all.
No, you're a human being inside you. You're busy.
Right.
You're a little occupied right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Keisha, I'm lucky if I get to write once a week.
Yeah. And I was going to say,
I know I should do better, but I can't. I just don't work that way.
Yeah. And there are days where people look at me and I'm an author, I'm a writer.
Right.
I have it written in 2 or 3 days, and it's okay. Yeah. I'll go back and I'll write again. Then there are people in the industry that will say, if you don't write every day, you're not a writer. And there are people that will say, if you don't publish a book every 6 months, you're going to lose your fan base.
Yeah.
Bye. Well, like, if that's my fan base, they can leave.
You know, I run into the same kind of thing because I'll say to somebody, I'm a humorist. You know, I write some humorous thing. Yeah. They'll say, be funny.
Yeah. Like, okay, I don't go to your job and tell you to do something else.
Yeah, like there's a switch you can throw.
Yeah. And writing
really
is not like that. You know, when they walk by and you're not typing something, it's not because you're not writing. It's still going on up in here.
Right. It never stops.
No.
Yeah.
It's always in the back of your mind, even if it's not coming out your fingers right then.
Well, it doesn't have to you don't have to be typing to be a writer. A lot of writing is brainstorming and plotting and thinking. Because if you don't do that, when you sit down to write, you'll write a story, you'll go back and read it again when you do your self-edits, and you'll think, well, how did he get from point A to point B? What, did he fly?
Yeah.
You know, so there has to be that connection of, okay, I have to make this story not only a story, I have to make it believable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I have to make my stuff work because otherwise Donna will catch those things and say, "Well, how did you get from A to B?" I'm like, "Oh crap!"
Yeah, I got one like Donna.
Hey, that's useful. That's useful.
Yes.
Yeah. And Rich, there's a reason that the locks are on the inside of the doors. If you're going to write, sometimes you've got to go, leave me alone.
Yeah, and Keisha, getting back to your publishing, when I finally get my next book out, I will not have published anything under my own imprint for 4 years. But I've been busy working for other people. And somebody, you know, like you look at the music industry, somebody like a Bruce Springsteen or a Squeeze might put out an album every other year. They're considered prolific for doing something that takes you about an hour to listen to.
Yeah.
So, but you know, there's a lot of stuff that they're doing, like touring and writing the music and redoing it, and et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, Keisha, like was said, you know, you've got things going on in your personal life right now that take precedence over that. Do not feel like a failure. Instead, congratulate yourself that you already have something out. You're light years ahead of other people who sit around saying, boy, I wish I could do what you do. Well, they're not doing it, but you did it.
Yeah.
And you can also have the potential, when things settle down again, to do it again.
Uh-huh.
All right?
Exactly. The second book is much easier.
You'll throw all the bad ideas out. Yep. You'll go, okay, no, those weren't so great. These are fantastic. Let me run with these.
Yeah.
Well, let me throw in there.
We're there when you're ready.
Let me throw in there an example of the music that I do. Each song on my albums might be 2 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 15 minutes. Okay, but you're talking about nearly 3 weeks worth of work for each piece, no matter how long it is.
Yeah.
Because there's not only the initial, oh, these are good sounds, but piecing it all together and go, oh, that note's not right. Let me tweak that a little bit. I've got to edit here, and then do the arrangement, and then do the mix, where you've got to have some stuff that's really, really quiet, and then you've got to have some stuff that comes on like a thunderstorm, and you got to get all of these elements balanced in the dynamics of the piece, and that's just a tiny bit of it. And it's just the same as writing a book. You've got this bit you get, and you've got this bit you get, and then you think, oh, how do I connect that with the first one? Or do I just do a simple scene change?
Even just the amounts of research we have to do that the reader will never see. Never.
Right.
Oh, yeah, there's things, I've written things where I spent 6 months doing research for a 2,000 word chapter.
Yeah, and I also saw
you got to know this stuff, even though it never shows up in the book. You got to know it so you can write it smoothly.
Right.
Right on.
Now, Rich had something
a lot of
earlier.
people's computers are in their bedrooms.
Yeah.
Mine moves between the Cookie studio and our bedroom. So yeah, I get that. Now, Rich had something earlier about the family getting on him because they want him to finish something and then getting mad at him when he's writing.
Same thing, dude. Same thing.
Yeah, I have that too. I've had that, and what I had to do finally was draw a line in the sand and say, if you want me to finish, if you want me to get stuff out here, you gotta let me have the time to do it. Now I'll give you an hour where we can do something like like this weekend we put up curtains, thermal curtains in part of the house because we didn't have them there, and you wait till it's about 10 below zero before you start. That helps. But anyway, I said I can give you an hour, and then we have that hour, and then I got to go back to what I'm doing. And you have to draw that line. If you want to see these stories finished, you have to let me have that time.
And I haven't had that problem with Donna because she's a writer too.
Sure,
but
yeah.
with other people I have, and I'll tell you one thing, Rich, that really helped me out a lot. I printed it out, and I printed some of it out. Okay, and I'm working over here. Somebody comes over and they say, "What you doing?" Here, read this. After a while, they stop. They either go, "Ooh, where's the next chapter?" or they stop coming to your office and bothering you because they're like, "Crap, he's going to hand me another chapter."
I hate to say it this way, but for the normies that aren't writers, if you've got shit spread across your desk, they can see something that you're working on. If you're sitting here typing and you're just staring at the screen, they don't know what you're doing. They don't have a clue. Unless they come over and they look at your screen and then they go, "Oh, it's words." Yeah, words.
Yeah, it's lots of words. I might be sitting here with the laptop open, iPad open, 5 windows on one computer, and another with the word processor, and I'm sitting here going through all of this stuff, putting things together in my head, and then ta-da! And you wind up with the 1812 overture or Toccata and Fugue in D minor or whatever as words.
Joe.
Yes, we did, Joe. We mentioned you.
Yes, we did.
We took your name, but not in vain.
But yes, it's the whole iceberg thing, and it's not just writers. There's a lot of industries where you see the tip of the iceberg. You don't see all the back work that went into it.
It's like building a set for a play.
Yep.
When you're sitting in the audience watching the play go on, you don't think about who had to drive the nails, who had to paint the canvas,
or
who's
even the
pulling the
mechanics going on
curtains.
while you're watching the play. Behind them, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Oh yeah, and it's usually madness if it's a play. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, if you've ever been backstage, it's not. If you don't know what you're doing, it's not fun. It's chaos.
That's why the credits on movies are so long. It's all the people that did other stuff that was necessary to make this one thing happen.
Yeah. Or there is a reason why I'm researching radio's, the top 10 songs of the year. What was the top 10 song in May of 1938?
Right.
Because I'm looking up something for the story. I need a little something to give it some verisimilitude. So,
yeah.
And Joe D, my music is royalty free. You just pay 50 cents per song and then use it where what you want.
There you go.
Okay. Nick is a duck. What do you mean you're a duck?
He's floating along, but those web feet are going beneath the surface. See?
Yes, that makes sense. Yeah.
I just thought of something, Carl. We like a movie called Noises Off.
Noises Off. Yes.
Oh, I want to see that.
It's a very good movie about a play and how it changes as they go from town to town, things that happen. But when you think about it, that's a good analogy for writing too.
Yeah, because the characters that are in the play have certain interactions on stage, but when those actors go backstage, they have other interactions. So you find out through the movie who's fighting with whom, and then they go out and they perform the play, which you kind of see through the eye of the camera, and it's like, oh, it's different this time because those two are fighting, and they, It does show you a little bit of behind the scenes, and that is a good allegory for writing because you start out with one idea. This is how this is going to be. This is how I started out. I know this is how this story is going to work. Oh no, it's not. Oh crap! Because now I got to figure out because those two can't be together in this scene. Oh crap! I'm going to figure that out. And
that's why I don't plot anything for my books. I sort of plot. I mean, there's a general plot, but that's like pieces right now. Mm-hmm. Honest to God, what's written in Vella right now that you can read, that's about it. Mm-hmm. Because as we go, and that's why Vella scares me as a writer, because the way I write has always been, as we go, I'm learning the story too. Mm-hmm. So if I get to episode 15, I can't change episode 3 because episode 15 had something in it that needs to change. It can't be. I have to just kind of cut tail and all right, well, we're gonna have to change the way it came out in my head or the way I thought it should have went.
You are very brave for doing it. You are very brave for doing it that way. I mean, with Scars, you had the book.
I had it already. It was already a book, basically.
And you edited a little bit towards the end, but it was still already a book, and you cut it up and said, okay, here we go. We're putting it in Vella. For Pieces, wow. Yeah. Way to go. I wouldn't do it that way.
I will tell you.
It is scary.
Vella makes you a better writer if you struggle with, what do I want to say? Like,
deadlines?
Not plot twist, cliffhangers. I am very good at cliffhangers. Mm-hmm. And I've known that since day one, since I've started letting people read my book. But if you struggle with cliffhangers, Vella will make you better at it because that's the whole idea. Mm-hmm. When a reader reads a Vella episode, they're not going to want the next episode if you gave away all the answers in this episode, or there weren't enough questions, or it wasn't compelling enough. Mm-hmm. So basically, you've got up to 5,000 words to catch the reader. Mm-hmm. The sweet spot being a lot smaller than that, like 1,200 to 1,500 words, which it's a really short read. It's okay, that's done. It's over. I want the next one. Mm-hmm. So if you're not good with not plot twist, cliffhangers. Vella may not be for you.
I like how at the end of each piece, though, you put in another question in case the reader hasn't come across it. What will happen between these two characters in the next one?
Mm-hmm. That's called an author's note. So you can put anything you want there.
I like how you're using that because it reminded me of the old when Doctor Who first came to America. They had a guy, I think he was Canadian, that read over a thing.
Yes,
said,
yes.
What will the Doctor do? Will the robot, stomp his head?
Yeah, really.
The next
episode. They did that in Lost in Space.
And and Batman.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Holy calamity! How will the Cape Crusader get out of this trap? Stay tuned tomorrow, same bad time, same station.
So those
another thing.
How much longer will it be before the robot smacks the?
Yeah. Really, Silver in Time.
Dr. Smith. Yes.
Yeah.
But another thing, Brian, you might like is that at the end of each episode, you can also do a poll. Like in one of mine, I said, should Justin get his own story? 100% of people said yes, Justin should get his own story. So now after Pieces, I'll probably put Justin in the next one. But again, it was something, and you can put a timestamp on it too. You can say this poll's only good until December 31st.
Right.
You know.
Yes.
I like that.
So
and Christopher Reeve was in that, as was John Ritter. Top billing, of course, went to Kira Burnett.
Of course.
And Michael Caine.
Yes, Michael Caine was in there. Oh, he was great.
Yep, same bat time, same bat channel.
Michael Caine can do no wrong.
Yeah. So everybody watch Noises Off before the next show.
There will be a test.
There will be a quiz. No. And yes, I have been watching the old 30s and 40s movie serials for my entire life.
Oh God! Yes.
Those will teach you cliffhangers like nobody's business.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, and then you watch the beginning of the next chapter, and sometimes they cheat because you didn't see the entire scene. There was some extra footage that got deleted for the cliffhanger. So that's how the hero jumped out of the car before it went over the cliff in a ball of fire.
I saw one time. It took place in an airplane with a bomb in it. The guy didn't have a parachute, of course, and the plane explodes in chapter 8. Well, chapter 9 starts out with the narrator going, "Well, after so and so got out of the plane in a miraculous escape, we move now to." It's like, you sons of bitches. That is cheating.
After falling through the air for 2 weeks while we were working on this script,
so
we decided he landed on an eagle and landed safe.
Exactly. Yeah.
The other thing, the only thing I would see why you couldn't do it as an interactive choose your own adventure book is because the way I put them out, and that's the other thing, like I try and put out a Vela episode every day so that every day a new episode comes out, and even that's not good enough for some of my fans. But
brag some
that's what I try to do. I try to do a new episode every day, but you could do a new episode every week if you wanted to do the choose your adventure type and ask your fans, okay, should the bunny get axed? Okay, well, you got until Tuesday to tell me. Well, by Tuesday, you've had 3 people vote, or maybe you had 30 people vote.
Then they're the ones who get to choose.
They're the ones who get to choose. Because then you've written the story. Now it's on Vela until you take it down. But your poll has ended. So they can see that there was a poll, but they can't vote on it. So that could even be advertising for your next one, if that's something that you're going to do. So yeah, Vela's got some options that I think a lot of us could benefit from.
Sure. Nothing like having that pressure, too, to meet the deadline. So
you're not kidding.
Newspaper background, I know.
I couldn't do the choose your own adventure thing. I don't want my readers telling me what they think the story should go. I think the story should go, and that's how it's going to be.
I can't do that either. Now I can say things like, "Do you think Justin should get his own story?" Okay.
Sometime in the future, would you like to see more from this character?
Right. But I can't.
I can handle that.
I can't necessarily say, okay, should that character die or this character move on to bigger and better things? Should these 2 characters break up? Like, no, that's not how it plays out.
Oh, I want to see more of the two lead characters there in book 4, your warrior stuff.
Okay.
I really like those 2 characters.
Okay, well, that could happen because
hey, it's up to you. I'm not making a demand. I'm just going.
No, I know, but if you think about it, and I keep going with the warrior books like I plan to, those two could do that because she's used to the modern world. She came from the modern world, and he can time travel to it. So
there you go.
And she's this perfect, like a Doctor Who companion. She is the audience point of view.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to slide into that when you're following the characters. Oh, yeah, I bet she gets that reference. Oh, I bet he doesn't get that reference because he hasn't been there.
And that was kind of my thought, was that, you're bringing her into a world she doesn't understand. He does understand the modern world a little bit, but he's still old world.
Did I vote on my favorite couple poll?
Yeah. Where? I don't know on that one.
My favorite couple is myself and my wife.
I don't understand Nick's question.
Ranger Morelli thing? Yeah. I was puzzled.
Shippers are people that kind of like put people in relationships.
Yeah. Whether the characters are actually in those or not, they think they would be a perfect pair. Kind of like,
I was gonna say we used to call that, to a degree, we called that slash fiction, but that was
but that would be a Kirk and Spock sort of thing.
Yeah, that would, yes.
And a Romeo and Juliet sort of thing, or
yeah.
Now I can see doing that and doing the choose your own adventures. Okay, to a limited degree. So Michaela could say, okay, now this could go this way or this way. I'm kind of torn as to which way this should go. I'll leave it up to the readers.
Yeah.
So, certain things, you could say, what do you got?
I have known writers that would take a set of D&D dice, and they would make a list of different ways the story could turn at this particular point, and try and roll a D20, and wind up with a natural 4.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. I would do the choose your own next chapter thing as an experiment. I would not make a habit of it, but I would make it that does Steve get the girl? Yes, but I determine how. Or does so and so live or die? Yes, but I'm the one who says how.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. And you could even do things like because when you're writing romance, there's always a side character. You could always say, should the side character adopt a puppy?
Right.
Because then you can run with those storylines, and then they'd have something to talk about or in common, or
Yeah.
And it's a lot like reader interaction, and readers get to feel like they're part of it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't make it like something that's going to change the entire story that you have to hand out.
Yeah.
Only if you don't know where the story's going.
Yeah.
I can't see doing it from an outline, but doing it as a I can see doing it as a pantser, but not as an outliner. And nowadays I'm doing both. So
yeah, and that's the way I work best is just stream of consciousness. The characters are talking to me, telling me what they're doing. I'm just taking dictation.
Yeah, you just
everything flows.
Yeah.
When I try and make them do something,
that doesn't work.
They argue.
They won't let you.
They tell me to bugger off.
And we are so fortunate we are in an industry where we can say, yes, I'm listening to these voices in my head, and they're determining my professional outcome, and everybody in our field is going, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whereas most people will be like...
Yeah, most of the time, go get that white jacket. We need the white jacket.
Yeah. The place where the carpeting goes all the way to the ceiling.
Sleeve one that ties in the back, and don't forget the butterfly net in case we got a runner.
Yes, now see, here's another thing. So Dawn, I know who this is. Dawn did a poll on my mercenary reader group page.
Right. Oh yeah.
3 people commented. Are you
my
kidding
Patreon?
Me?
My Patreon, I've got 20 people on there, and I get 3 or 4 people who comment on my writing there.
Yeah.
And I figure that's fine. Nixon talked about the silent majority. I figure that either they're not reading it, and that's fine, and they're there just to support me, which I love, or they're happy with what they're seeing and can't think of anything they could say, anything they can articulate to say that would change it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when I do something on the humor group. Okay, there's 300 and some people there.
Yeah,
something like
and
that.
I'll do a joke and it gets liked by 4 or 5 people, but I'll be like, okay, this other joke got liked by a lot more, but never 300 people.
Right.
And I figured some are just going to hang on there and just watch stuff and not ever be a part of it, even to put a like on something.
Right.
So they're not going to vote in a poll. They're not going to get involved. They're not going to comment.
And some of them didn't get on Facebook that day, so they never even got to see it.
Exactly.
Or they don't even go to the page regularly. Yeah.
I'll see people that like something, and I'll look down my notifications. I'll see, oh, I posted that like 2 weeks ago. Where have they been?
Yeah, I had somebody give a like to something I did 5 years ago.
Yeah, and that's great on YouTube.
I'm going, how bored are you with the internet that you followed this all the way down?
Me, probably.
Yeah.
Anything to avoid writing. I'm watching weird shit on the internet because sorry.
Remember we talked about that to-do list? It's just getting bigger.
Yeah. Well, as a wise man once said, you can't please everyone, so you've just got to please yourself.
I do it all the time.
Garden party. Yes. Yeah. I remember.
Michaela and I are on the same wavelength. Y'all tune out now.
Yes.
I remember the song very well.
Yeah. I heard it this week, so I'm remembering it.
Hey, I thought the guy would grow up bent and twisted for being on television that early, but no, he turned out all right.
Turned out all right. Far from
it. That wasn't about you, Rich.
No. It was another Richard.
No, I meant he was saying something about he doesn't always get on Facebook.
Yeah.
No, there are some people who have been in my group for 2-3 years and have never made a comment or anything like that. Well, and I just wonder, are you still here? Are you still here?
Yeah.
And I asked one of them in real life one time. They said, "Oh yeah, your stuff is hilarious." I'm like,
okay, well I wouldn't know that because you don't say anything.
Yeah.
Or leave me a review.
I had somebody get mad at me because I'm not hanging on their every word. And I'm going, I only turn Facebook on for 30 minutes a day at the most.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't turn it on for 3 days at a time. I didn't see whatever you deathless prose you posted.
Yeah.
And because of the on Facebook, I belong to a bunch of groups, and then on YouTube, I subscribe to I'm subscribed to over 100 people's channels.
Yeah. I'm working up to 500 subscriptions, Carl.
But it's
y'all ain't nothing.
Oh gosh,
4 digits. I'm in 4 digits now.
Oh my god.
Well, people were sending me for a while. Hey, please like my thing, and then I'm liking it because they sent it to me, and then I'm looking at some of the groups I'm in. I'm like. Yeah. So I've spent the last 6 months taking myself out of those groups.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And in fact, I'm getting cranky with people now that hey, I live 20,000 miles away. Please like my comic shop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, block you. Because usually it's from people that have no interaction with me whatsoever. That I think they got me in a weak moment, and I said, okay, I will do this. I will like you, and then they try to sell me something right away. Hey, Hero Maker, how you doing here? How you doing, Clayton? Good to see you. Thank you, Clayton.
We're hoping for a great new year. We're making our list and checking it twice.
Definitely.
Like the fat guy in the suit. He can do it. I can do it.
But enough about me.
Somebody opened up a can of worms, but didn't mean to. Hey, that's cool. We love.
Yeah, we like worms. It's fine.
Pour them out on the page.
I like fishing. It's hard to do without worms.
We'll go fishing. Yeah.
If the worms wiggle around on the page long enough, they'll write something.
Usually
it's like the infinite number of monkeys in the typewriters, right?
Yeah.
We're hoping for.
I can find an infinite number of monkeys. Now, where the hell am I going to get an infinite number of typewriters?
Yeah.
One thing, talking about our list and stuff and getting stuff done.
Yes.
One thing that was mentioned in another writer group that I'm in was make a contract with yourself for 2 reasons. One, you're making a contract. It feels more official because most of us, let's be honest, we sit at home behind a desk and it sometimes doesn't feel like we have a job or a 9 to 5 or whatever you want to call it. So you make the contract with yourself. And in that contract, it should say, I'm writing this book. It is due out this time to my editor. My editor will have it for this amount of time. It will get back to me on this date or by this date. And then by this date, it will be published. So then you've got a contract staring you in the face. But also, if your book gets stolen and you want to send a cease and desist letter, or something happens with Amazon because they've done it to other authors where they're saying, well, that's not your book. Where's your contract? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Amazon has done some lovely, lovely things.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I'm more familiar with pirates than I am with Amazon screwing people over in that particular way.
Well,
other ways, yes, but not that one.
Amazon asked one of the authors was, well, where's your contract for this book if it's really yours? She's self-published. She doesn't have a contract. You need a contract with yourself because that, more than the cease and desist letter, helped her get her book back.
That's good advice.
I never would have thought of it, but and that might make you also hit those deadlines. It's in a contract. It's a legal document. It's just with yourself. Now, if you have a pen name like I do, you could even do it via your pen name. You know, that you know, not Michaela Jade, but Crystal has this contract with Michaela Jade Books to get this book done. You know, so
not that I'm going to do it, but you could, you know, send a contract to someone else you knew and say, you know, okay, this is my contract with you. I will finish this book by such a time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, send it to each other here, but don't include me because I'm not doing it. I don't trust it.
It's my idea. I'm not doing it.
I just don't trust me. So.
No, Nick, I don't really feel pressured to write it for sales or views. But as I go, how do I say this? So as my Warrior series continues on, like Secret touches on things and it's like, oh, that's kind of spicy. Trust is like, damn, that was Dragon's Breath spicy. Woo! Okay. So as we go, they're just getting a little deeper and a little deeper, if we could say it that way. So each book gets spicier only because I want it to be that way. I didn't want it to be like Secret is kind of spicy. Trust was like, whoa, way out left field. You know, my readers who were expecting a little spice got like the whole chili pot. You know, I didn't want that. I wanted it a gradual, okay, we're going into this world, we're learning it. And as we learn it, we're getting a little spicier because now we're a little more comfortable in our skin. And we're a little more comfortable with the series, and this is what I expect. I expect the next book to even be spicier.
And that's now you've got John's Chili at Helicon.
No, I didn't take that.
Yeah.
As the other author who has spicy books, basically, no, it's not for sales. It's how my characters talk to me. I have 12 books. Yeah. 8 of them are rather mild. This one, The Seduction of Lily Monroe,
not so much,
is probably the one I decided on going extremely spicy because that's what I wanted. The other 3 books that were spicy, the character said, hey, no, I have to do this and you have to write it down.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. You know, it's
situational. Yeah. It's what the characters wind up doing. You have to decide, okay, now I feel like a voyeur, but that's what you're going to do. We will type that up and
let me type up that incident report
and correct your spelling right there. You were in the heat of passion. Yes, I know you didn't mean to say exactly that word, but
right, but she gonna slap you. No.
Phew. That might have been
no,
part
I
of
never
it.
feel like I need to dial it back, but I do sometimes think, you know what, that was good. Let me make this better.
I have the problem where sometimes I feel like I should dial it up, but I don't, because the subtlety is the thing that I am more comfortable with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you can't read between the lines, then I may be being a little too subtle, but there's stuff in the Disposable Man that really, if you saw the scenes play out in my head the way I typed them up, using the most innocent words possible, you would go, "Oh my."
Yeah.
Debbie Does Dallas ain't got nothing on this. But no.
It just depends to me what
I'm not
called
comfortable
for.
writing it extremely what is the word I'm searching for?
Descriptive?
Yes. Thank you.
Erotic.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's still erotic, but it's not
Pornographic.
It's not penthouse letters.
Right.
It's
that,
more.
That for me, it's what the story calls for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because when we wrote Woodstock, Donna had a very sexy scene in there with somebody that did the very.
Oh, you mean the shower scene?
Yeah, it's pretty graphic for the most part. When I wrote the sex scene in there, basically it's somebody comes up on the car and they're putting their clothes on. They got their clothes on backwards. It's like, oh, I know.
Yeah, you know what happened, but you didn't.
It was off screen. Okay. For the Mad Gasser cheerleader, he's a pervert, so there had to be some stuff in there.
Yeah.
For the spy novel, oh my God, you know how spies are. So don't
just wrote one. Yep, I sure do.
You don't read that one.
I do have a secret identity grade pin name. I don't maintain it. I haven't put it out there just yet, but there is one that will be for the stuff that, like, you can't read it at work. It's not safe for work. So
you better not pull it up on your computer at work, because that can be traced.
Right. So it's in the works for me. It's not anywhere yet that a reader could read it yet.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to write one under a pen name, and it's going to be pure smut.
Hey,
no plot, just enough to get you to the next sex scene.
Hey, Brian, you don't want to originate another version of, oh, John Ringo, no.
No, I don't even read John Ringo. I'm actually trying to stay away from John Norman, is what it is. So.
Oh,
thank you.
Yep.
Well, now for the record, John Ringo is a very nice guy.
Can I do this?
That's what I hear.
I can't.
He's nothing but good things about.
Look at that.
He's a total sweetheart. But he does have a tendency to be the biggest frog in any pond he happens to be dropped into.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Facebook user said they can't top their male-female male book for the best of both.
What is that? Here we go. Yeah. I'm not sure who this is, but I can't top my male-female male book, Best of Both Worlds.
Yeah, can we get a first name at least? That would be nice, so we can praise you.
Yeah. As for secret identity,
I'm just picturing like, the pizza guy comes, she doesn't have any money, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's another ring on the doorbell.
Oh, hi. Okay. Hi, Molly. Yeah, she wrote Teacher's Pet, and I gotta say that yeah. Okay. This woman, or actually Kenzie Michaels knows how to write that stuff.
Michaels, yes.
Kenzie Michaels. Okay. She's hot.
So let me get this straight. The pizza guy shows up, the woman doesn't have any money, and then the plumber shows up.
There you go.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's the plumber. He's come to fix the sink.
Or
where's the beef?
All the electric company people just chimed in.
Just got that one, yeah.
Could be the husband and wife are bored, so they hired the pizza boy for more than just a pizza.
There you go. See? Yeah.
I would make it the pool boy in that case.
Right, Let me see. Where's that one book?
What happened? If that's your story, then it's going to be spicy, and you can't get away with.
Well, now, so that's another thing with Vela that I wondered about, because Vela, you can do erotica. And I thought, well, now how does that work? Because Vela gives away the first 3 episodes for free. Now, I know myself that when I'm reading erotica, I don't need a lot of plot and story and backstory. I just need, let's get to the point. Right, smut, that's what it is. Okay. So I was like, well, then how do you go about it if the first 3 episodes are free for anybody to read? So I pulled up some of those stories and read them, and they get very, like, adult language, but there's not a lot of the actual act in those first 3 episodes. It's leading up to it. It's getting hot and spicy. It talks about parts and pieces, but nobody yet has done a scene on episode 3 or episode 2. So I'm like, okay, so you're leading up to it in episodes 1, 2, and 3, and you're hoping that someone will hang on to episode 3 enough to buy episode 4, then 5, then 6, or however many episodes you want. You could do a 4-episode story.
Well, the thing is, at the end of chapter 3, she is dragging the pool boy into the bedroom while the pizza guy is installing the trapeze. See?
Right.
And in episode 5...
It's a gift, people. It's a gift.
in episode 5, no orifice is left unplumbed.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Nick,
I can think of the stuff. I just can't. I can't sit there and go, "Oh, Daniel, don't do that."
And my problem is I don't have time.
So Nick, like for me, I wrote a scene where he takes 2 guys' heads and he bashes them together. I described that. Then there's other scenes that are sex scenes that I describe other things. No, it doesn't matter for me. I can write both of those. And neither one of them makes me cringe. They both make me go, yay, I can write this.
And, you don't necessarily have to have sex or extreme violence for something to get really creepy. I have an upcoming story that is about a pedophile serial killer. And I don't say what he does. And I don't say how he kills them. Well, I don't. You find out how he kills them, but I don't describe it.
It's not forensic, in other words.
Yeah, it's. But I creeped myself out. I had to quit writing in that series, and that's how another series got started, because I could not go back to that series for over a year because I creeped myself out. And it wasn't graphic.
No, but you can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a writer who's very influential for me, and I met him one time at a comic book show, is Don Pendleton, who created the character Mac Bolan, the executioner.
Yes.
And his idea was, you take the gun, you shoot the guy, you describe it, kind of, the visceral effect right then and there, and then you move the hell on.
Yeah, really.
You don't listen to the body hitting the floor. You don't listen to you don't smell the iron in the blood. Blah 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 blah. And when I wrote my Western, I'm racking up a body count in it, which I normally don't do in my work, but this is a Western. And basically, you get shot, you fall down on the ground. You just don't dwell on it. I think
Molly, mine do that too, because if I'm not in the right mood, I can't write it.
Yeah, you've got to be in that kind of mood, and also a lot of people ask me who my influences are. One is Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock, I describe, like, in January 1st is Public Domain Day, and one of Hitchcock's first movies and one of Peter Lorre's first movies is a silent film called Red, I think it is. And there was this one scene that I remember in it, and it was loosely based on the German serial killer, the Vampire of Dusseldorf.
Yes.
And there's a scene where Peter Lorre is walking next to this young girl. She's probably about 10 or so. And she's holding this lovely balloon. And they're talking, and they're smiling, they're laughing. And then it takes just a frame. Suddenly he turns around towards her. Then it cuts away. And you see this picture of the sky. Then suddenly this balloon enters the frame. And Cookie is like, ooh.
Yeah. Subtlety
and that's what I prefer to do. You know?
Subtlety is sometimes underrated. Yeah.
Yeah, I put the reader to work.
I have to admit, I'm much more comfortable with extreme violence than I am with a sex scene.
I am the other way.
Yeah. See, that's what I was just thinking.
Violence, okay, but a sex scene, yeah. I'm writing one now. I've actually written it already in the spy one, but it's showing a lack of interest on the guy's part. Okay, I'll quote part of it. Part of the scene, he goes, she could never be a truly good ballerina because her breasts are too big. I mean, that's what's going through his head during the scene. It's like,
right.
What?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
It puts you in his head. It's like
whatever floats his boat,
Right, and he is supposed
you're
to
right
be
there.
normal.
You know exactly what he's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And ties along with the other parts of the story that I won't disclose right now, but he was just for this reason. He's just like, she'll never make a great ballerina.
There's a scene
fantasy.
in
fantasy.
There's a scene in the one I just finished, Disposable Man. Tom Dobry is walking down the street. Some European country, I don't remember which one. Somebody jumps out of an alley and tries to beat the crap out of him. And he kills a guy and drags him back into the alley and trying to figure out what the hell went wrong, and then starts worrying about his team that he's working with. Because if he's getting attacked and it's not just a random mugger, then maybe somebody saw through all their disguises and they've been made.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But there's an awful lot of violence in between the would-be attacker throwing the first punch and the dead body hitting the floor or the alley street.
Right.
And I did not plot this out. It's like I was watching a movie. I just took dictation. So, and y'all know me. I'm a very timid guy, but my wife really enjoyed. No. No. To misquote Dashiell Hammett. Yeah. No, seriously. In the Cold War, some spies had some kind of code of conduct, and others were pretty much just ruthless psychopaths. And when you get somebody with the code of honor being attacked by a psychopath, and you want your guy to win, all the stops have to be pulled out.
Yeah.
And for some strange reason, I'm more comfortable writing that than I am a couple of people going, "Hey, you're hot. Hey, you're hot. Let's fuck."
Nice shoes.
Yeah. you can leave your
That's
hat
a whole
on.
Other subgenre.
That's a whole other subgenre. But yes, So I think we've covered a lot tonight. We went 2 hours, guys.
Yeah. And a great audience.
Thank you, audience. Thank you for your
I know. Oh my gosh.
Yes,
You guys were asking
great questions, great questions, great comments.
Thank you guys for being here. That's awesome.
And Jody,
and I'm going to try and do
sorcery
it.
is a totally different kettle of fish, let me tell you.
I agree. Yeah. I've never written a good sword and sorcery story.
I'm working on one.
Sorcery is one I can't get.
That was my first novel. Like I said, I've never written a good one.
Yeah, I had the same problem with Dragons and Wizards.
Yeah.
But I think it came out pretty good.
Yeah. Well, and that's why they say write what you know. So that's what we stick with. You know?
I didn't know, but I did. I still wrote it.
That's how you learn.
All right, guys. Well, like I said, thanks for coming. I think we'll end our show here because we're at the 2-hour mark and we covered a lot of stuff.
Bang,
so
2 hours.
The next time going to be on the 3rd or on the 10th?
Let's do the 10th. Let's do every other week for right now.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And if anybody has any suggestions for the topic we should cover or start with.
Yeah. Or the one we start with. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. God knows where we'll be.
Let Michaela or Dawn know.
Let Michaela know, and then she will tell us what we need to ignore.
Yeah.
It's fine. All right. Yes.
We're writers. We don't pay attention.
That's okay. That's okay. We stayed on long enough though, so Molly could jump on. So we did good.
Yay, Molly.
Yes.
Yes. So, all right. Now let's figure out how to do this other part.
Okay.
Hit the button, Max.
Hit the button.